Hey guys, it's Courtney and welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been on here in forever, long time no see. Actually, I think the last time I posted a video was probably 4 weeks ago. Reason being is the baby is here. I'm not sure if I ever did a gender reveal because I remember at one point I was like trying to keep it a little secret, but then one time I was editing a video and I accidentally said the pronouns. So it's a baby boy. His name is Josiah. Nickname Jojo. I call him Jojo. I'm all for them nickname. He'll be 4 weeks old tomorrow, but not technically not his full month yet. But basically, I'm just gonna tell you guys how my birth went. I did have a birth vlog. We did vlog a little bit, and I was just gonna kind of mesh it together and put it together, but that'll be in another video. Jojo was born March 8th at 8 p.m. I was 37 and a half weeks. So basically, I'm gonna tell you how that whole thing went down. Let's just backtrack. At my 36-week appointment, from that point on, or it might be like 35 weeks. No, it's 36 weeks. I know that for a fact. You start going to the doctor, to the OBGYN every week. So for 36 weeks, 37 weeks, 38 weeks, 39 weeks, and then 40 weeks. Basically at 36 weeks pregnant, they do the routine. They check your height, they check all this stuff, and they check your blood pressure. And my blood pressure was actually just a little bit high. It was elevated a little bit, and it really wasn't a concern to them. They were just like, okay, well, we're just gonna watch you, I guess, and we'll check your blood pressure at your next appointment and see what's going on. Now, the next day after my appointment, I woke up and my right hand was swollen. It was numb, completely numb. So of course I didn't know what to do. I'm Googling what to do, and everyone just said put cold ice packs on it. Now I didn't have any ice packs, so I just stuck it under some cold water and let the cold water run on it for a good 15 minutes, and I didn't feel any relief. It was still numb. So I called up my nurse. You don't get in direct line with your nurse. Like, you basically have to leave your message for the nurse, and the nurse will probably listen to it the next day. So then the next day, like, they might call you back and leave a message. And I was like, no, I'm not waiting. I ended up calling the front desk, and I was like, okay, I need to talk to my nurse ASAP. They told me I had high blood pressure yesterday. They didn't tell me what to do about it. They just kind of sent me home. I woke up today, my hand was swollen. What do I do? And basically they were like, okay, we're gonna get your nurse to call you back ASAP. So she ended up calling me back within the hour. She basically was just like, go to the hospital and have them monitor your blood pressure. So I was just kind of like, I don't really want to go all the way to the hospital. I'm okay. And I stayed home, and within hours it eventually went down, and no big deal, right? Or so I thought. The next week at my 37-week appointment, they checked my blood pressure, and it was even higher than it was the week before. So my doctor comes in. She checked my cervix. I was 3 centimeters dilated, and she was basically like, your blood pressure is elevated more than it was before. We don't want to send you home, and because clearly it was elevating, like it was worse than it was before. And then I had this swollen hand. She was just like, this might be the start of gestational hypertension. And I was like, what is that? If you go home and you don't deal with your blood pressure, she was like, you can faint, you could have a seizure. She was like, you need to have this baby today. And Josh was like, what? No, we don't gotta do all that today. Not today. And I was like, no, my baby shower isn't until Saturday. She was forcing me to go. She was like, no, you have to go. You have to go. I was like, but I feel fine. There's no way that I'm going to the hospital today and giving birth today. This is not how I imagined it. I was like, no, the baby needs to come natural. My water needs to break naturally. The baby needs to be ready. She was like, you go home and pack your stuff and go to the hospital. But y'all, honestly, I went home, I ate, I ate a good meal because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to eat. And I ended up, I left my appointment at 11 o'clock and I ended up getting to the hospital at 2. So clearly I was nervous and I was stalling, and they kept calling me, y'all. Like, she was like, I'm gonna call the hospital and tell them you're on the way. And because I wasn't there for 3 hours, she kept calling me and she was like, are you on the way? She probably thought I wasn't going, but I went. I ended up going. I ended up having to be induced. Labs came back. They checked for proteins in my pee. They took my blood. They basically checked for everything. Whatever they checked for. I didn't ask. I did ask, but I don't remember. They said everything came back normal. It's just my blood pressure was too high. And if you guys know about being pregnant and blood pressure, the two don't mix. It can turn into preeclampsia. They ended up inducing me midnight, and I ended up having him the following day, 8 p.m. Contractions started, I would say, around 1 or 2. And I thought that I wanted to have it naturally because a friend of mine, Kelly, she had her baby naturally and she was in labor only for 6 hours. At first I was kind of afraid of the epidural because I was like, they stick a needle in your back, in your spine? Are you kidding? It took forever for the epidural person to get there. Do they come from a different location or something? Are they not in the hospital? And I got the epidural, and let me tell you, epidural is life. I didn't feel anything. My birth was smooth sailing. It was a smooth success. I pushed for about an hour. That is my birth story. That is what happened. By the way, I did want to mention that I have no previous history of high blood pressure. I did want to say that. I got the high blood pressure because I was pregnant. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.